Now then, I started out because I was trying to tell you what they've done to me in plain sight. I was kidnapped and given another name of a twin, and now I've got an eviction notice here because it was okay for over these years to force feed me, and I didn't have a choice. No, I had to have a place to stay. I've gone to the mountain and run, and everybody around here. This has been done in plain sight. Now I get a letter from the very people who didn't mind force-feeding me chemicals. I do have an immune disorder. I also should be able to live anywhere and be okay, so long as they haven't deliberately put chemicals in, and the air conditioning always goes out, and then when they fix it, it's pumping poison air wherever I go. And I've shown this, and I've told about writing the book about Larry McDonald, a congressman doctor in Atlanta, about mind control. I'd work for doctors where they modify behavior, and they can program in people without their knowledge to do anything. And they go out and commit the killings that I've been talking about, mind control murders. The man at Tucson was programmed to shoot Gabby Gifford, and there's her husband, Mark Kelly. He's a twin to Scott Kelly, and they're both astronauts. And this is my son's Mark, who's heir to the British Crown after me, and Scott. And I'm going to show this real quick and try to get this down. This is the double that married Wallace Simpson. My father, history would tell you, my father was married to Wallace Simpson and abdicated and all this, and it's a total lie. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe Windsor. George O'Keefe, the American sister. This is my father. And I want to show you, where's it? I'm not organized because I've got such, well, I'm sick for one thing and having to deal with all this cold-blooded people around here. This is my uncle in 39, George VI, who's illegal, who signed the treaties that allowed America put U.S. military all over British soil, and in essence hold Great Britain hostage. And they kidnapped me, the real monarch, Victoria II. This is Roosevelt in 1939, planning my kidnapping, and Roosevelt had appointed Kennedy, Joseph Kennedy, ambassador. And they kidnapped me and brought me over in 41 to Moulton, and I could do this again, and it takes up so much time, but they gave me a name of a twin, and I'm trying to see what I just did with it here. Hold on. I'm having to. I hope you don't mind. Well, I don't see it. I don't know what I did with it here. It was an envelope, and I just have lost it for some reason, I guess. Oh, here it is. Okay. And I'm leaving out all this. They put antifreeze in me April Fool Day of 80 after I'd written the book. Larry Flint was shot and the person programmed. And you can do anything with it. You can program a controller or a pilot, and they'll just take the plane into oblivion. So stop and think about that. This is the name they gave me. I'm going to show this again to you. When they kidnapped me from Buckingham Palace in 41, I was born in 39, they brought me to Moulton, Alabama. Dropped me off at a pigsty. It was a hellhole. There's no other name for it. I didn't find out about my kidnapping until 1983 when I got in the U.S. Campaign to replace Larry McDonald, and when I was flown out to Larry Flint's, who had been shot. And if I'm hurrying, I'm trying to get it on one tape because it runs out, and then if you aren't following it, you don't know what I'm talking about. They gave me the name of a twin. Carl Preston Dempsey was born out of wedlock to Lina Mae Dempsey, and I was given the name of Peggy. Now then, that I still have to use, by the way. Now, then, the state of Alabama, Montgomery, when they issued the birth certificates, because you have to have it for passports or driver's license or anything like that, it's illegal to change anything. Well, I had grown up, they'd told me my birthday is January the 7th of 39, which correlates with the picture I remember when they brought me and left me there and placed me in that woman's arms. That would be about when I was born. That's my understanding when I was born. So they've tried to make the twins jive with the birth dates they gave me. So they've marked through it, which is illegal, and they've inserted January the 7th of, I guess that's 39 up there. They had 38, which is when these twins were really born, and Dr. Irwin, who I know growing up, I knew him, brought them into this world. Okay, he was a doctor. Now here is Peggy, the name that I have to use, and they marked through it again and put January the 7th over the whatever was there before, and they just left 38 there. They didn't even bother to mark over it and put 39 like they did on the twin. So they were both dead, and Carl, even his death certificate was redone. But anyway, there was no attending doctor. They just killed him, and the mother did kill both of them and put him in the ground there. So now then, I wanted to do this. Lina Dempsey, I was talking about mind control murders, and I wanted to make this point. Lina Dempsey was with George Wallace, Governor George Wallace, when he ran for president, and he was in Laurel, Maryland. And she was with him. She worked in the campaign when he was shot. Now, I'm making a point to that because the person that shot George Wallace was programmed. Now then, after I had done the book, got a letter from the FBI, had antifreeze put in me April the 1st of 80, I was illegally taken across the state line to Alabama and worked for the district attorney, Fred Simpson. While I was working for him, remember Simpson, these were done in patterns, these murders were mind control. It's hard to prove. Simpson was supposed to have married my father, which was a lie. This is the double, and they helped take down my father. This is my father again, the real King Edward VIII, married to Claudia O'Keefe. Now then, I want to make this point. I worked at the district attorney's office in '80 when John Lennon was killed and shot, and Mark David Chapman shot John Lennon. Now, Mark is the name of my son, who's heir to the crown after me, and I am the legal heir, Victoria II. And my father was called, I'm trying to look for something else and I can't find it. My father was called David. That was his name. King Edward VIII is his title. So, and of course, Childers, Chapman is the letter C. So this is what's been used in it, and I was going to go back and try to find the one about Gabby Gifford, the picture of her in the Tucson, Arizona. She was a congresswoman, and she was married to twins, Mark Kelly, and Scott was twin, Kelly, and they're both astronauts. But there's more to that one. The Aurora, Colorado, James Holmes is being called mentally ill, which mind control has nothing to do with mental illness. He's being tortured. He was programmed. But the point is they have continued an affordable corporate suite that just gave me this, what's equivalent to an eviction notice, because I asked them not to come in with the chemicals that were killing me. And this is ongoing, and I put it on other tapes, what the Virginia State Trooper said, Carl Barton, about this is how they run me. When he took me to affordable corporate suite, his wife did, after I was up on Roanoke Mountain, legally camping, and during the night fuel poured on my tent, which is why they offered to bring me down, and it looked good. They even paid the security deposit, and I stayed there for 17 months sucking up affordable their chemicals. And now here I am in this one, and corporate suite and told to leave because I merely asked them to please let me use non-allergenic because of immune